With more people getting to Rust content creation, I thought it was only right to make a cinematic tutorial that is up to date for 2021. The first step is to create your own server or use a friend's server. Despite what other tutorials say, I heavily discourage you from using intoxicated servers as it breaks a lot when you go back to record the scenes for a demo. The first command you'll want to learn is noclip. To use it, simply type noclip into console and it will activate it. You can also deactivate it typing the same thing. Anyways, noclip basically allows you to fly around and reach locations for your scene. The next command is probably the most important one. Debug camera basically allows you to enter the camera mode and allow you to actually take the shot you want for your cinematic. I'll touch more onto this command later on in the video. The next command is cam speed. This basically dictates how quickly you move the camera. To activate it, simply type in cam speed and then the digit of how fast you want to move it. Personally, I use 0.01 as it allows me to move it really slowly and normally paces the video. Cam zoom speed basically allows you to choose how slowly or quickly you want to zoom in whilst you're in the debug camera. To activate, simply go cam zoom speed and then the speed you want to go out. I'll do 0.01 again, and you can see here how slowly it goes compared to before when it was just 1. I'll showcase how this works probably more later on. Now this next command, cam lerp, is really important in my opinion to make a shot actually pop out for cinematics. To activate it, simply type in cam lerp and then the amount you want to choose. I personally use 0.01 once again, and basically that's the slowest speed you can get, and it overall really solves the effect. After learning the commands above, you'll want to get into debug camera and learn the basic controls of it. To start off, WASD moves your camera around, whilst your mouse moves where your camera is looking. Holding right click and moving your mouse forward zooms it, whilst moving it back zooms out. You can also use the keys Z and C in order to get the same effect. Holding control basically allows you to rotate the angle of your camera in order to add some more depth to your shot, or for whatever other reasons you decide to use it for. Q and E moves your camera up and down. Space slows down your camera's speed by 50% of its original speed. And finally, R resets your camera and all settings associated with it, besides the ones above such as cam lerp and cam zoom speed, etc. After getting the movement down, you will probably want to practice for a bit. For anyone who's done photography before, here are commands for compositions which can help you out. Debug camera _guide 1 enables rule of thirds. To deactivate it, simply put a 0 rather than the 1 to turn it off. The 0 applies to every other guide. Debug camera 2 enables the golden ratio composition for lighting. Personally, I've got basically no idea on how to use it, but it'll probably be useful once you learn it. Debug camera guide 3 enables aspect ratio for your shot. And finally, debug camera guide 4 enables a crosshair for your shot to see the center of it. Now this part will show you the commands to record and replay a demo. I won't go too in depth into this, but I will leave a link to the wiki page for more info. To start off, put in demo.record and then the name of the demo, for example walk. And then you'll want to probably wait 5-ish seconds, so once you're in the demo editor, you can actually edit it. And then once you're ready, you can begin your sequence. So we're just going to run down this road for a bit until we reach the end. And once we've reached it, we're going to use the following command, demo.stop, which stops the demo recording completely. To access your demos, you want to go back to the main menu and press on this button with the camera and paper. You want to press on it and you'll see your demo that you named previously. Press on it, then press play and you'll load in. Once you're inside this menu, you want to go back into debug camera and get your set and whatnot ready for the scene. And an important command to use is demo.timescale and then how fast you want to make it. I record at 0.20 speed and speed it up in an editor, but for now we'll just set it at 1. Alright, and there we go. Our scene will begin playing. In order to make your scene look better, you'll probably want to learn how to change the time of day and weather. So in this part, I've set up a small scene, added some depth of field, and I'm going to run through a couple commands that you'll find useful. The first command in this segment is admin time, which changes the time of day. 12 is the best value to use if you want a pretty bright scene. So for now, let's just set this time of day to admin time 18.8, because let's go for a little bit of a sunrise sort of setting. And as you can see here, it's completely transformed the scene already. The second command you'll want to know is admin fog. This adjusts how much fog is currently present in the world. So we'll go admin fog and let's try out 1. As you can see, it's blocked out the effect by a fair bit, but this can be customized, such as in decimal points, by the way. So if we go into 0.5, that creates a bit of blur while still enabling our sunset effect. This third command, admin wind, basically moves around the grass and whatnot. Currently it's on by default, probably because I'm in the snow, but just to show you, it's admin wind and then 1. And that basically enables the bushes and grass to move and just generally set your scene better. And the fourth command you'll want to know is admin clouds. This basically creates clouds within the scene or just in general in the world. So we'll go admin clouds. Then let's just go for 0.5. And as you can see up in the sky, there's a couple more clouds. We can also go put a full digit up. So let's go 1 and it'll completely make the scene cloudy. And lastly, admin rain. Admin rain basically enables snow or rain depending on which area of the map you're in. So for now we're in the snow, so it'll enable snow. So admin rain 1, and it'll take a fair bit to kick in, and there you go. You got a full-fledged scene that looks a whole lot better than just the basic lighting. The final section of this guide will be about the very basics of depth of field. A lot of the depth of field tools can be binded, which makes the job much easier and overall speeds up the process, but for this tutorial I'm just going to stick to typing them out. I highly recommend that once you get these certain basic commands down, you head on over to the wiki and look at the more advanced stuff and try to get yourself into the more advanced side of cinematics. Anyways, to start off, the first command you'll want to learn is DOF1. This enables depth of field in the first place. Now here you won't see the effects because I haven't actually applied any of the other settings, but this is how you actually enable the command. The second command you'll want to learn is graphics.dof_upper, and then you'll want to apply the value after that. This basically controls how narrow or wide the focus is. So for example, let's go do graphics.dof_upper 7. And that will set our range. The reason why there isn't a difference in the scene is because we haven't actually applied any blur. The next command you'll want to learn is graphics.dof_blur. This basically controls how much blur is actually applied to the part that you have not focused on. So by putting in a lower number, it blurs less. So we'll go ahead and chuck in a 9, and you'll notice that the entire scene is currently blurred, and that's because we haven't focused onto a certain distance yet. The next command is graphics.dof_focus_dist. This basically controls how far the focus is. So for example, we'll go and chuck in a 4 into this, and you'll notice that it's basically just focused onto my character currently. Now you can use a command called nudging to basically up it by increments or decrease it by increments using your scroll wheel. More of this can be found on the wiki that I'm linking down in the description. Now the next command is called DOF_debug1. This basically provides a very easy way to see where your blur actually is. So black is currently where it's focused on, and white is basically where it's blurred. So it's just really a way. It's basically just in the name, just debugging your blur and whatnot. Normally, personally, I don't use this much, but that's really more of a personal preference. And that's about it for this cinematic guide. I really hope this guide showcased the basics of Rust cinematic tools and shows the potential that you can have with improving your videos and whatnot with them. To get more information about them and more advanced commands, go check out the wiki that was, I'm pretty sure, written by Paddy Maz. And that's all I can really say.